Welcome everyone to another episode of Slasher Scotty. I am your host Scotty McCoy, and boy do I have a surprise for all of you. I have on Zoom with me right now, let me see if I pronounce your last name correctly, David Mcdemus.
You got it. There you go.
Perfect. And he played Aaron in Friday the 13th, Dead Before Dusk. How are you doing, David?
Oh, we are doing fantastic, Scotty. How is your day going?
It's going good so far. It's really tired. I was up, I had that long drive back to Pennsylvania yesterday, so today I'm feeling the beat of it, I guess. I mean, I went to bed early last night, but I'm tired.
That's about the same here, man. Likewise, a lot of work going on.
Everything
going on between. Oh, it's nuts.
Absolutely. So the first question I have for you is, how did you happen to get involved with Friday the 13th, Dead Before Dusk?
So it's pretty cool story. Like obviously with you, we met through Facebook on like a wrestling thing, that we did, and ended up becoming really good friends after that. And obviously knowing some of the cast and crew that were involved with it, with your other movie Samhain, and I know you reached out to me and you're like, hey, we got an idea for you. Are you willing to get in on it? And, we jumped head first right in.
Absolutely. And you did a really good job. It's funny because you always mention to me, like, you gave me this main character, this lead role for my first movie.
And it worked out, man. It really did.
You hit it out of the park.
Your guys' is like faith in me just built my, you boosted my confidence up, and
nice.
Look where it got. It was absolutely fun. And I thank you guys 100% for that. It was a blast.
Not a problem. So what was the hardest part about filming Friday the 13th, Dead Before Dusk? And what was the easiest?
So I think the easiest part of it was just, how relaxed everything was on set. How from everyone from Amanda down, just made it feel like it was just a bunch of friends. It didn't feel like a movie. It felt like just a bunch of friends hanging out, having a good time, doing what they love. That was easy. The hardest part was just me being hard on myself. I always am. Everything I do, like I'm always contradicting myself. Like,
right?
Did I do this right? I'm my biggest, creditor for making mistakes and stuff like that. So
yeah. And that's how it always is. It seems like especially when you look back at it, like, oh, why did I do it that way? Or, oh, why did I say it this way? Or, you always think I could have done it a little bit better. I could have given myself a little bit more, enthusiasm with that, or a little bit more charismatic this way, or a little bit different that way,
Yep. And one scene in particular, I look back on and still think that to this day, like, man, I should have did that different,
Absolutely. So what was it like filming your stunt scene when you got rammed right into that tree and the tree fell down?
It was actually pretty funny because, it wasn't really supposed to happen that way. And, Tyler ends up just leaning on this tree that kind of like shakes and shimmies. And both of us just had a light bulb click like, yo, I'm going to spear you through that tree. And I'm like, dude, let's do it.
It was awesome. And it looked like it would hurt. And we had Brett look at it, and Brett was there. He looked at it, made sure it was safe, because he's always our on-set stunt coordinator. And he looked at it. He's like, yeah, this thing is safe. Just when you land this way, and make sure your head doesn't go down onto the tree, and make sure you protect yourself that way, So everything was done safe. So it worked out. It really did. And it looks beautiful too.
And the crazy part with it is that's a one shot and done thing. If it goes haywire, it completely having to redo the whole thing. So for that,
it's not like we could replant that tree.
Exactly. Like, I think that was the most unique part of it too. Like, it was a really unique part for the movie. And, people that have seen it, like I showed at work, they got a kick out of that part and several other parts of it.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. So what was the whole experience like being on a movie set?
Just like at first it was overwhelming, coming into it first with all the nerves, but after the nerves settled, it was a lot of fun. It's like fun. And I describe it like getting like a tattoo in a sense. Like I have 4 tattoos, and it's fun, but then you get that part of ants, and you're just ready for that creation to happen, and you're just so excited to see what the final product is. So it's like a whole roller coaster of emotions.
Right. And we finished because it was only a short film, but we finished the post-production. I'd say we finished it in about maybe 3 days, 4 days maybe. But each day was like 12 to 14 hours of editing straight through. Like
Yep.
it was a lot of editing. And the worst part was like getting the sound effects, like, for example, Quentin, like he was underage, and I told the story all the time, and I had to
Yep.
literally go to this bad website to find somebody peeing on a tree because we couldn't have him pee because he was 17. And then like I had to, like, for your head, you seen when your head bashed, I had to find a specific sound effect that didn't sound cartoonish and actually came off well, like that made it sound like your head got bashed against the ground.
No, definitely. And it's,
Yep.
yeah, like the kudos got you guys for taking all that time. I feel like we have the easy part, just
Mhm.
filming it. Then you guys, like the editing, the producing, like that's where the nitty gritty comes down. It makes us shine.
Yeah.
Anybody that stars in any of your guys' movies or small films, whatever it is, we shine because of what happens behind the scenes, not just
Yep.
in a film.
Right. And a lot of people don't realize that it's not like, yeah, you get to see these actors acting out the roles, but there's a whole crew behind the scenes, not even just the director and the producers, but you have the special effects people, the camera people, the microphone and audio people, the post-production editing that doesn't even happen on set. Like, you get all of these factors really go into play, and then it goes down to lighting and the gaffers, and it's a big team environment, and everybody, like, it's like you guys do what you're best at. You guys do what you're best at, and everybody takes their special skills and they do what they're good at, and that's what makes an entire movie production come to life.
Yep, it's like a big well-oiled machine.
Exactly. So what's the hardest part about being an actor? Like, when you were acting in this movie, what was the hardest thing about acting in it?
So for me, it was just memorization of spots, and
Mhm.
I feel like my improv is good. Like I feel like that's one of my stronger points is like the improv, but just memorization of stuff, like and trying to get my brain and mouth to work together at the same time, like on cue. It's your brain wants to say one thing and the mouth wants to say another. You're like, oh crap, that ain't gonna work.
You did really good improv, though. You really did. That's one of the things I lack on is improv. Like when I do improv, I do word vomit.
Yeah, and it's tough. It is like, for me, it's improv. I feel is easier for me than memorization in a sense. Like, obviously, there's lines, and if I would have had to, I would have memorized lines, but that would have definitely taken me longer than getting some of that freedom. Like when we talked right at the beginning, like, hey, there's nothing wrong with not memorizing everything. Just kind of put it together, make it sound good, and we'll go from there.
Exactly. You want to have the storyline work, but if you go improv, just don't drift off into a different part of the story, because then that's when plot holes come into play. Because like if you're saying something and then there's nothing in the script or nothing thought about to follow up on what was said, like it's like, oh, how do you connect that now?
And kudos goes to the others. I mean, for going right along with it, there was like no issue at all. Everybody just connected together, and it wasn't no issue at all.
Absolutely. So what did you think of the final product of the film? What were your, like, when you before, how about, let's do it this way, like before you saw the movie, what were your thoughts going into it, and then after you finished, did it live up to your expectations, and what did you think about it after you saw it?
So, like, going into it, obviously we already knew what we were talking about, with the budget, stuff like that. We couldn't go into it expecting it to be some Hollywood film. So going into it, obviously we had our goal set, and I feel it reached it. Like, once I got to watch it, I thought it was like really fantastic, really good for what we had to work with. I mean, just absolutely, like, we just actually watched it. One of my buddies and I watched it at work last night because he wanted to see it, he didn't see it, and he was like, holy crap. He's like, you guys had like next to no budget for that? I'm like, pretty much. Like, we had what we had.
I think we spent less than $100 on special effects. The people we got, Tyler Stepdad for special effects. Him and his team from Philadelphia, they came down and did it, and we spent less than $100. They call it what did they say? The poor man's special effects, I think they call it. Like, it's literally the like, what's I can't think of the name off the top of my head. The thrift store special effect. That's it.
Yep.
Like, you do it for as cheap as you possibly can.
Yep.
And and make it look good. Like, I think the worst part of the special effects was my death scene, because we forgot to get the wig for the beginning scenes. We were already in Shenandoah Heights, and it would take more time to go back down to get it. So it's like, okay, we're not going to wear the wig. But then we didn't realize, wait, we need the wig for the dummy head.
Yep.
So we ended up not using it. So when you see me there and I fall, the dummy has the wig on, you could tell it's not my hair color, it's not my hairstyle, and then I get hit, and then I have the wig just plastered over my face. I'm like, crap, that came out so corny.
You know what though? I'm being dead honest with you here. That scene has gotten the most reaction, as far as that one, and as I call it, the facial. When Quentin gets his, were the two scenes that everyone, the wow factor comes out. You know,
Quentin's was amazing. I was concerned about the most, because I wanted us to do something with the tree, and I wanted us to actually show his face go in the tree, not like get crushed against the tree and it breaks apart or whatever. I wanted him to go into a tree, and the fact that he went into the tree and it looked just like the tree, because when they built the mini tree, it was replicated based on the tree that Tyler drug him to originally. And it took us at least 2 hours just to get the 2-second mark from Tyler stopping at the big tree and going into the little tree, a 2-second clip. And it took us about 2 to 3 hours to get that done.
And I said that came out like, that was being on set watching that happen was insane. Seeing it in the movie, just whoa, like, you know,
and it's so different watching it like in a movie, because when you're on set watching it, it's like, oh, this is cool. I like seeing how this put together. I like seeing how a movie is made and everything. And then you see the final product at the end. It's like, crap, we made that art, and we it's like you see it in chunks, and it's obviously filmed out of order, and then you see it all meshed together in one film together, and it's beautiful art, and you're like, we made that. Like, and it's cool to see it when the editing is done.
Exactly. Really, like, that's where that I talk about, like, the antsiness part comes in. Like, you're just excited to see it, and you're like, you're so hyped up, and you know you gotta wait it out. Like,
so we know Amanda was the director of the film, and Carl was a producer, and I was the executive producer. I was also in it, of course. So, like, what was it like working with us three? Because obviously us three are Gravestone Films executives, and me and Carl are co-owners of Gravestone Films. So, like, what was it like working with us?
It was great. It was a really good, easy experience, you know, coming in from, you know, obviously I knew you, but everybody else minus Brett, I was pretty well new to. I didn't know anybody, and it was a welcoming experience. Like, there was there never felt like there was any tension, nothing like that. Like, it was a really good experience.
Absolutely. You know, and we enjoyed working with you. We even asked you to come back for 72, but you know, scheduling, it wasn't in the works. But I mean, obviously the door's open for you to audition for other movies that we have.
Oh, definitely.
We really enjoyed working with you. Yeah, and you're really a good actor. Like, I mean, with no acting experience, you are a good actor.
That's the crazy part. I'm like, you know what? I've always been like that in my life. Like, I'm going to wing it. I'm going to try everything I can. I live every day like that. The next is going to be my last. So to get an opportunity like that, how can you not at least attempt it, you know?
Exactly. I always say, because my dad was diagnosed with brain cancer 5 years ago. He was in his early 50s when diagnosed. He passed away in August, and he was in his it was like a couple days before his, I think, like 58th or 59th birthday. It was like near the end of his 50s, and he died so young. And the fact that I always say, like, live life like you have that tomorrow's not promised, because it isn't promised, and life is too short to live in fear and to not try things and take chances.
Exactly.
Because
I've always lived my life that way, you know, and it's
absolutely. So last question I got for you is if asked to be involved in another film, we said we would love to work with you again, would you be involved with another film with us?
100% would. You know, obviously, like we talked about with 72, just it didn't work out in the scheduling, you know, but definitely, like, short film, whatever it may be, like, you know, I'm a message or a call away. Like,
absolutely.
And it was fun. I enjoyed every minute of it. So yeah, definitely.
Thank you. Yeah, and we, like I said, we agreed. We loved having you. You did a great job, and the ending, like, we obviously, your character was killed at the end, but you don't see your death. But it was really cool, like, just seeing Jason standing above you in that.
Oh, it was awesome.
was beautiful. And then
Yep.
and then all we did is we had him hit the ground and you
Yep.
scream. And then we did the shot again where he slowly went into the camera with Carl
Yep.
underneath. And then I just had to extract that audio from you screaming
Yep.
and put that into that scene. And it was beautiful. It was perfect.
It was, and I said it was a lot of fun, and like I said, great people to be around, great crew, great cast
Absolutely.
from up all the way down, extras or whatever the case may be.
Yep.
It was just absolute good time.
Absolutely. Well, I thank you so much, David, for joining me.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yep, not a problem. You have a great rest of your day, buddy.
Yeah, you too.
All right, bye.